All right, Mack, we're going to start with you. I've gotten plenty of questions over the last couple of weeks, a ton. All right, is Mack going to coach again? Is he interested in this job? Is he interested in that job? What's the latest? Honestly, what's the latest on your future and whether you want to get back into coaching?
Coaching St. Mary's second grade soccer team right now, currently. No, here's the thing. When this time of year comes around, and all the agents doing all the back channeling and talking and putting your name here. And, I decided that this cycle, it's not right for the timing of my family. My oldest, Jeff, this, my oldest is going to be a freshman in college at Flagler, which is in St. Augustine, Florida. My middle is going to be going to IMG Academy in Bradenton, Florida, to play volleyball for her senior year of high school before she goes to Vanderbilt and plays. Yep. And so I'm sort of a volleyball dad, and we're moving to Florida here in a few months. And so I haven't even inquired about any jobs. I mean, I've been flattered. There's been several that have reached out to my agent. But at this point, I'm not going to say never, but not for this coming year. I think, this time of the year, I think always gets your juices flowing, and, I miss it, but for me, for this coming year, it's not something that's going to be in the cards for me.
Listen, I've seen you bring your daughters to the Peach Jam, and my relationship with my daughter, and I try to bring her everywhere. I was with her this past weekend in Chicago. She was with a friend of hers, so she wasn't with me at games. But man, like what you do with your kids, I don't think people understand how close you are.
Well, shit, it gets harder because right now my two girls won't leave their bedrooms. They come home and they go straight up there, and I'm like, hey, come on down and watch television. And
just wait.
They're doing TikTok videos and all that stuff. But I've really relished the time that I've gotten the opportunity to go on all these. I'm a volleyball dad. Like, their club volleyball season started in January, and we're traveling at least 2 weekends every month. This weekend we go to Indianapolis. Next weekend I'm going to IMG for Haley's got a volleyball clinic. It's just it never stops. And I think, with Haley for her senior year not being in the house, and then Lainey being off to school, that's just not the right time for me to be, out there recruiting and prepping and
dude, I commend you. I commend you because, again, we know how this job is. And if you take a job right now, you take a new job, you know what that entails. You're going to go all in.
I mean, the first 7 months, like, you're not coming home before 10:30, 11 o'clock.
Right.
Unbelievable.
So listen, again, to me.
Hey guys, just a reminder, our sponsor for today's episode is Run Your Pool. They are hosting the Field of 68 Bracket Challenge. This year, they are giving away $1,500 in free prizes. It's all an incentive for you to get on there and find out just how good their platform is. I've been using them for my bracket pools for years. I've used them for Super Bowl squares. I use them for everything that I need to use them for. The biggest survivor pool that I'm in for both NFL and NCAA tournament is by Run Your Pool. So go check them out. The link's below. Tap in.
Mark Few told me this a long time ago. Mark Few, to me, has as good a balance as there is of the highest level of coach in the country, right? And he's made fun of me for years. And I told him, I said, 5-6 years ago, I changed. I really changed and said, you know what? I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not doing it. Like, I missed a lot of things. I was there, but I wasn't there for my daughter. And I'm not doing it anymore. And I honestly, I owe a lot of it to Mark Few. And because, again, he and you, I think, have really, really good balance. And I'm proud of you for being able to do it, because a lot of guys wouldn't.
Well, I appreciate it. A little bit the way I was raised. My dad was my coach in literally everything I played, growing up until you got to junior high and it got a little bit more serious. And so, I just felt like I had the opportunity a couple times when my kids were younger, 3rd, 4th grade, to coach their basketball team, but it was not much of a commitment. And it was so hard with being a college basketball coach. But, we've also got a 2nd grade son, and, he's going to be the only guy in the house, and I want to have that time with him. And so it's,
hey, you got to get him. You got to get his shooting a little bit better here.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you right now, he's falling in love with the game.
Good.
He was out there
2 years ago. 2 years ago.
Oh, I know. But we don't push anything on our kids. So it's like if they don't want to play anything, they don't want to play. But he's starting to get into it. He was out in the driveway today shooting. It's 40 degrees. So that's good. Good to see.
Always love seeing the Mack kids at media day. You would bring them to the Garden. They would be the stars of the show. I mean, that's the stuff that's where it goes beyond any win-loss result. You guys, obviously, I can't relate. My wedding's not till September 1st. I'm not making any heirs before then in that department, and I'll leave it at that. But I'll tell you what, I do think I was talking about this a little bit before the show, but like, it's interesting to see how certain guys have grown on the sidelines, have matured on the sidelines, have been able to maybe calm down a little bit and take a step back. I mean, Jeff, I noticed that with Sean Miller this past week at the Big East tournament, and he did a year with us and just came off as a different guy on the sidelines this year. And he's not the only one around the country. Any thoughts to that?
Yeah, no, I think sometimes a year off is really good for coaches to kind of, again, slow it down, look at things. Now, I think in a year, Christy Mack is going to want Chris Mack the hell out of this.